I mean, it's just a sea of problems, honestly. And
Yeah.
there seems to be no ray of light. If I'm being very honest with you, Manan, the past 6, 7 months since I would say like April, May of 2023, I had actually a couple of main goals in my mind. First was to get like a good score in GMAT so that I could apply for this year's intake. And the second one was more from a professional front where I wanted to get a promotion which was much due. I spoke to one of the other guys on your team, Swapnil, yes. So
Mhm.
I spoke to him as well, and I told him that, like, sometimes when I'm approaching the questions, because I had practiced so much, the questions like RC and CR specifically, they seemed like familiar to me. And
Hmm.
I knew where to like navigate what kind of questions were going to come my way.
Hmm.
So that might have inflated the score also. Honestly speaking, I gave GMAT 3 times. Like the first time, my nerves got the better of me. Second time, there was a technical error because of which the exam had to be squashed. The third time, like I gave it in December only, mid-December. I was actually very happy with the way the exam was progressing, especially from the verbal front. But when the score came, it was a complete shocker for me.
Hmm.
And now that the GMAT is going away, plus, like, with all of this, my confidence and morale have also taken a significant hit. Currently, like, a little lost, and I needed your help on this as to like how I should proceed.
Firstly, don't really think about the GMAT going away. It doesn't really mean that all the effort that you've put in will be completely washed away, because it's not a new exam as such, Shashwat. Although they've made it to be, right? A lot of coaching companies trying to lure students thinking that it's a completely new exam, different strategy. When you really look at the heart of the exam, it's just the same. So at least that's one less thing for you to get burdened by, right? You don't have to worry about your progress going to waste if in case you've been studying at it for a long time. Secondly, it's also about understanding the fact that, okay, you've given one shot at it properly, because the other two attempts, because if nerves get the better of you, trust me, I've been teaching for about 11 years now, have taken the exam multiple times myself. There are days when I'm not feeling up to the mark because I didn't sleep well the last night, or because of some other issue that might have happened in my life. And if I'm not feeling right, if I'm not in my element, then I don't do well, even on questions that I've already done before. The ones that I've already explained to the class before, I might fall short of explaining the questions properly. Exam seems easier to you. And that's where the 4-hour LSAT sittings come into the picture. The GMAT doesn't demand 4 hours of peak concentration, but 4 hours of sitting together and doing just RC on the trot really gives you that, helps you develop that mental muscle to be able to endure the test without wavering concentration. Then kind of go for another shot at it. The pacing strategy for focus would definitely change here, Shashwat. You don't have sentence correction. The data insight section is like a combination of data sufficiency and integrated reasoning. And integrated reasoning also will have to be then, sort of studied a little more seriously than you might have done in the past. So apart from those things, there's nothing new that you have to study really. It's just about a restructuring of the exam that you have to take into account. There are going to be days when you'll feel I'm probably at the same level as I was yesterday, or maybe I slipped a little bit. But that happens in everyone's life. You're not at the same level every day, right? But at the end of the week, there is enough time passed for you to have made enough improvement to know that you've gotten better at that one thing you were trying to get better at.
We used to save time in SE. We say 1 minute 45 seconds used to be the time, and we used to try to wrap it up in, let's say, 30 to 45 seconds. And that used to be our cushion for the remaining sections like RC, CR. Now that has gone, like, while the pacing strategy will also change. So, like, a lot of different angles might also come along with it.
Pacing strategy primarily. So that's the main thing that is going to change. And also you'll find in the verbal section they give you more time per question than they did in the previous version, and that's primarily because sentence correction is not there anymore.
Like, from the content perspective, I'll sit tomorrow, Manan, and then I'll work on creating a plan and I'll send it over to you. I need to like have some constant check-ins with you, just to like get on the progress. And it has been tough for me to like every single time go there, then like come back disheartened, pick the pieces up, and then get back to the struggle and then come back. So I mean, while I understand that like it seems like a very trivial thing right now, but and it might seem like that in the next 5 years, but right now it's one of the biggest struggles I have.
Without analyzing where you went wrong, it basically just means you're glorifying someone's ability to endure suffering, right? So I don't really, I'm not a proponent of that kind of point of view. Resilience is important only in that every single time you're taking the exam, you're looking at it from a different perspective and you're putting your efforts and energies into different directions.